Troy Landwehr here with Time with Troy and interviewing Paul Capozio.
Right.
Paul, my New Jersey boy. I just tell you, I have some friends that actually kind of connected us a little bit. You know, we kind of knew each other, and they were bragging about you. You know, they were bragging about you the way my uncle brags about his children. And I say, all right, we got to connect. And you know, you got a little bit of different angle of some people that I'm interviewing because you've had tremendous success, and I mean tremendous success in traditional business, and that's kind of what I want to lead to is your background and all your, you know, your wars, your battles, and your successes.
And you know, it's funny. I know you gravitate towards that. I'm trying so hard to get away from that. Like I'm thinking, oh my God, what a mistake that was, and everybody's like giving me accolades for something. But yeah, I've been in the human resources and payroll staffing for the last 25 years, and I did. I absolutely adored it, loved it. It was a great concept. I think it's a little bit, you know, like commoditized. It's a commodity now, but you know, I thought it was a time to kind of get away from that a little bit. But yeah, a lot of success. I worked for myself. I built a small payroll and benefits company. And we were just helping out small businesses, right? We were consolidating, creating economies of scale for them and helping them save money and time and everything else. And then that company was bought by this really big company. And I was going to sell the company to that guy. And he said, well, what are you going to do now? And I said, you know, I'm going to go out and build another one and come back and sell it to you. I was like, no, that's not going to work. It's too expensive for me. Come here. And we made a deal. And we built that company out to about $1.5 billion. But after about 17 years.
$1.5 billion.
$1 billion.
That's $1.5 billion.
With a B. Yes,
with a B. With a B. Okay.
And it's a success story because that whole group was just guys like me, you know, regular young guys, street guys, and you know, I don't have a college education, but school of hard knocks kind of thing, and a lot of guys were like that in that firm, and we built it, and then all of a sudden he just got into some banking issues, and obviously we should have made some different decisions, right. But I wound up leaving and taking my book of business and forming another company with a partner. It's much smaller. I mean, you know, compared to that, it was like a $100 million company, and ran that, and you know, obviously I realized I was tired of it, and that's where it comes in where we met, because I was looking for, you know, something different, you know, and that's how actually we came to meet each other. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to kind of go into where we are now, but
well, I do, but okay. I got to get back.
You want to go back?
Yeah, sure. Because here's the thing. You know, I watched you in another interview. I watched somebody else interview you recently,
right?
And you know, you guys really got into it. It was a long interview, and I was kept on every word. When you mentioned someone, look, when you mentioned that someone helped take a company to $1.5 billion,
yeah,
I mean that is impressive. So, did you ever see yourself being that? You talked about no college education. Did you ever see yourself taking a company to $1.5 billion?
Not even while we were doing it. So, you know, I don't think that any great like journey or that you don't ever plan. You ever go like out with your buddies, and if you try to plan this big night and it absolutely sucks, right? And then you do the spur of the moment thing, like last night, and I'm in Vegas. We happen to be in Vegas right now, right. And it turned out to be this great night, meeting all these people because you don't plan it. Well, that's how that was. I was contracting, and I got tired of like just, you know, waiting to get paid from people. So I said, I pay people instead of getting paid from people. And then it goes to this industry that became a very, very large industry. It's called the PEO, or Professional Employer Organization industry, and never expected it. But it's like a roller coaster. You just hold on and just go with it. Mm-hmm. You know, and passion will take you a lot farther than anything else. You had to love it, and I loved it. I mean, I have a lot of admiration for it now. Right. I think there are better ways to earn a living, and there are better ways to make money now. Right. A lot better ways. So, but you know, times change. At that time, that was probably the greatest industry, in my opinion, to be in. One, because I could do it. Right? If you suck at something, make it a hobby. Right? Because if you suck at something or you don't love it, you'll never be able to barrel through it. You'll never be able to. You know,
I gotta turn the channel just a little bit.
Yeah,
of course, sure. You know, my ADD and everything. But I heard you say this, and you were talking. I want to get to two things. So here's a two question, and okay. You got to stay on for this because this is wonderful.
I will. I'll try.
But you said you were talking about how do you decide, number one, who you go into business with, and I thought this was really interesting, and because you talk about, you know, the devil or something you said.
Yeah.
How do you decide who to go to business with, and then you mentioned your best business partner ever, your best salesmanship ever.
Well, I'll close with that.
Okay, all right. You got to stay for that. Right, that's really good. That is really good.
So here's the bottom line: you can't. They're going to be business partners, and what I would say is, if the guy is right for the deal at that time, Partnerships are very, very difficult. Even when they're not in partners, but you're partnering with someone and you're on opposite sides of the table, or even when you're on the same side of the table, it's not going to work out. I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, you're going to shake hands and you're going to meet that new partner and everybody's excited and everything else, and then real life starts to happen and the partnership comes apart. It's going to happen. Nothing lasts forever. If the deal is good, it's great. When the deal goes south, then you got to get out. That's it. So that's number one. Your partners are going to disappoint you, but not when they start disappointing you. That's when the partnership is over. The other thing is, well, how do you know who to do business with again, or who's your partner? And I literally talk about, Caesar getting stabbed in the back. And what you do is, when you get stabbed in the back on a deal, you pull out all the knives and you look. And if there's 5 people in the deal and there's only 4 knives in your back, the guy that didn't stab you is the guy you try the next deal with, if he's got a great idea. Now, by the way, the deal with the devil is, if one of those other guys come back, but it's a great idea, you know how to protect yourself. You have, you just want to go in there and live on the deal. This is not a marriage. And you talk about my best partnership that I ever had. And I said the only one I could think of, without a doubt, is Linda, my wife, for 30 years, because good, bad, or indifferent, she was always there. So there was never a knife in my back there. And that's the partnership that I think works the best.
And you had some challenges, though.
Oh, we do, absolutely, yeah. So we were actually separated for a short period of time. And we got back together, which is another thing. That's never happened, right? And most people are like, I'm gone, and even if they thought they wanted to do it, it just never works. It worked perfectly. In fact, it was better. It was better for us because we got together really young, and we were like, I'm with her literally more than half my life. I'm 55. We're married 30 years, right? So that's a long time. So things gotta, there's always mid-course corrections you need to make in a relationship. And I tell you, when you smell something that's a little off, it's so much easier to make mid-course corrections than it is to try to do big things. And that's why I think people fail. They don't put as much time and effort into that relationship. Partners are different. That you're there for one reason and one reason only. If you and I are in business together, we're in business to make money, right? And that may change. When you're in a personal relationship, it's not about that. It's about supporting each other and everything else. So that's why I would say, I know it's not sexy, but it's my best business partnership ever is with Linda, because it's not just about money.
And she's wonderful. And I got to tell you, you're someone that I could truly would want to get advice from. I mean, honestly, and you probably get this hit a lot about this, but you would be in my top 5 people I'd come for advice.
Wow.
I'm saying that right now.
Wow.
Top 5 people.
I'm getting a chill from that.
Well, I'm just saying,
because I don't see it that way.
Well, I'm going to call you the Godfather. although you had,
I'm going to make it an offer.
You had all these New Jersey boys in the room last night. And I made a joke that hey, I'm going to stay on your good side. I don't want to end up in a desert in Vegas, but
I do know I make up you get the look and the bad first impression I get, and the way I speak. I'm not a college guy, so
right. But you have a huge heart, and you're ethical, and you're honest, you're integral, and that's what attracts me to you, okay? Right. But you have the business sense, and so you're the school Hard Knocks, and you're very successful. But let's talk about this. We're going to close here, but we got to bring this up, okay? Because you and I met in a very judgmental industry.
Oh my God, yeah.
We're in an industry that has a lot of criticism.
Right.
People don't understand our industry. If they really understood our industry, they would love it. Right, kind of like maybe
I didn't.
Kind of like maybe judging a New Jersey boy that is rough and got the accent. Okay,
exactly.
If they understood the industry, they would fall in love with it if they really understood it. Right. So tell me about because this is your first time, right? You're a virgin, basically, to the industry, right?
I really am, right?
Okay, so tell me.
It's nice to be able at 55 to have something that you're virginal about.
But you're truly excited, and you're cranking this. You're doing so well in this.
Yeah.
So tell me why you like this industry and why it's different from traditional business.
Well, I got to start. Well, I'll answer that first, and I want to go back to my misconceptions about the industry and why people have a misconception about it, or even like a animosity towards it. But what I love about this business is you get to see little successes in every single day. So I've never had a business where everybody, even if you're in a different line of business, that cross-lining, and I know I don't have all the buzzwords yet, but obviously you and I are in different lines of sponsorship, and other people in different lines of sponsorship in different companies, but everybody's moving together in the same direction, right? So you could necessarily take someone who's your competitor and still help them right? You can still help them. I can do a video, or I can go to and speak at another organization's meeting and help those people, right? I mean, so that doesn't exist. I would never do that for my competition in human resources, ever. In fact, I'd probably work to like do something wrong. You know, I'm trying to be ethical, but there are certain things you've done, you know, in your past that you're not.
You can't hurt your own employees and your whole business.
Right. But you try to hurt your competitors. Meanwhile, in this business, you don't have to do that. But I think the biggest thing that drives me is that I could sit in front of a room full of people that have never done any kind of business whatsoever, and I see like hope, and I see like, oh my God, honey, we can do this, right? A husband and wife. When you see that light go off, and somebody say, you know what, honey, I think it's easy for me because they say, if that guy can do it, right, I can do it. And when you see that, and I see that over and over and over and over and over. So in traditional business, you have certain moments of victory, and you savor those, and they're usually bigger. But when it goes away, it's bigger. Right? So you have people in network marketing that drop off and they don't continue on, but you know, you're not going to lose this huge deal, right, in someone, right? There are disappointments in this industry. I've experienced them already, even less than a year in the business. But you see all of these successes, it charges you up. I mean, it literally charges you up. I mean, it gets you excited. When I hear that new distributor or somebody call me, and then, you know, and they start repeating the words that you have used, and you're like, oh my God, I reached somebody.
Well, you're making a difference here.
You really are making a difference.
And in your traditional business, your employees are never going to make the amount of money that you made.
No,
they can't make that kind of money. It's insane.
First of all, it's mathematically impossible, right? Because I was the owner of the company. Here, I mean, it's just designed that way, right? And that's the funny thing, because this has like they talk about the pyramid scheme. Look, there was no way in my company. In any stage, even when I was like only had 3 employees, there's no way I'm paying that guy more than I'm going to pay myself.
But here, you actually can make them make more money than you, and you want that.
And you want that.
You want it.
Yeah, it's completely upside down, which works for my brain, which is upside down to begin with. So let's talk about the misconceptions of why the industry. I think I've listened to so many guys. Let me tell you first about what my introduction to network marketing was. Is that I get a phone call years ago from my buddy who owned a car wash, right? And this rich guy goes in and he says, look, I'm trading this car in, clean the whole thing out, clean the car, I got to trade the car in. So my buddy calls, he owns the car wash, and he says, dude, he goes, in the back of this car there's all of these cassette tapes. And he goes, I thought they were music, and I put them in, and some guy talking, he's talking about making the invisible visible, and I said, there's sales training tapes. I said, don't do anything, I'm coming down. They were Amway tapes. Amway used to do this thing. Well, you know this, you're an expert. Yeah. They had all of these like cassette tapes, and it was all sales training, but it was amazing stuff. Right. Amazing personal stuff. Development. And it had to be close. Yeah, it was all personal development. It was everything from Zig Ziglar and you know, and he says, you know, you want to get your foot in the door and send one shoe to somebody. And then I got my foot in the door. All of those great, you know, things that you had Zig and Jim Rohn and all the big builders in Amway. And I listened to those tapes over, and I had no intention of network marketing. In fact, I had a negative connotation about it. You know, I remember, you know, my parents and being at my uncle's house, and there was some guy was drawing on a whiteboard, or not even a whiteboard, it was paperboard and everything else, and this guy talking about Rolls Royces and everything else. And my uncle says to the guy, why don't you fix that hole in your shoe first before you get your second Rolls Royce, right? So like I had this negative connotation about it, but the guy was doing this thing, he was hustling, right? So I think today, direct sales, network marketing, affiliate marketing, it's definitely in its own. Look, I'm wearing I hate to say this, I'm wearing a gold watch, but the days of the gold watch in corporate America are over. It's never coming back. Working 30 years for a company, it used to be on a resume, if you had a gap in your resume or you had less than a year at a company, it was the kiss of death on a resume. Now it's commonplace. Some people don't last 6 months at a company. And human resources people, they don't even blink at that anymore. That used to be the kiss of death for an applicant. So I happen to be personal friends with real big network marketers, and I turned them down over and over and over and over again. I had misconceptions. My misconceptions had misconceptions until I did the math, and I said, well, wait a second now. How does this work, right? I'm like, okay, I'm going to educate people, I'm going to train people. And then you say, oh, it's easy. The guy at the top makes all the money. It's not easy. I'm in Vegas, right, for a reason, to build my team. I flew to, I'll give you a perfect story. I flew to a city. I don't want to say the city because it'll be obvious, but I had a new distributor, right? And he's like, I'm going to crush this thing. Flew in, rented hotels, hotels, seminar rooms, projector, the whole 9 yards. Guy hasn't put anybody in yet. So, but you take those risks. Now I have other people that I didn't even spend that much time with, and they put 50 people in the organization.
Yeah.
So you never know where it's going to come from, but you still need to.
Sometimes it's desire.
Right.
Sometimes you just don't know. It's within somebody.
And somebody's looking to make an extra $500 a month, and somebody's making an extra $500,000 a month. And when I realized both of those numbers are more than possible,
right,
then I said, "There's no stopping this."
Well, it's funny because you're the second person that I've interviewed here in Vegas that had just a dope watch. And so we're next to really David Copperfield sign is in back of us. And so I got to ask you two more questions because by the end of this interview, my Fitbit's going to be on your wrist. It's going to be so
this is actually very old. This is actually probably, I probably got this thing for about 17, 18 years.
Well, you probably don't want it then. So it's too old.
All right.
So here's the last two questions, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
People, oh my gosh, look, that's so nice, man. That is a nice watch. It's heavy, guys. It's heavy. I'm telling you guys, it's heavy. But so let me ask you this. So, I love the fact that, you're brand new to the industry.
Right.
And that someone brand new in the industry can hit it out of the park. Of course, there's going to be stereotypes. Well, you've already had massive success, and so that's why you were able to have an easy transition. Fair enough to some degree, okay?
Yeah.
But you had to go through the steps and learn, right? Because it was something new.
Right.
Right? When anything's something new.
A lot of things didn't translate from traditional business to this. It's a little bit upside down.
Maybe some work
You're
ethic.
helping other people. Yeah,
Stuff
work
like
ethic.
That,
right.
Discipline.
No alarm clock rang for me to say, go build your network marketing business, right? But meanwhile,
if anything, it's sometimes harder because you already have it.
Right.
You already have the financial means, right?
Right.
Where some people, this is all they have. They have to make it work. So let me ask you this. This is my last two questions.
Sure.
For the new person looking at it,
right?
What would you recommend? How do you get people started? Because not everyone's Paul.
Right. Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of things you need to look at. You need to really, and I know network marketers have been doing this for years about the why and the reason, right? But if you really honestly don't have that, it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you straight out, it's not going to work. The other thing is you have to set this up like a business and like a job. One thing I notice with new network marketing people is when they post their things on Facebook and everything, I'm in my own business, and they brag about the business, but then when things go south, they want to be treated like a customer. It doesn't work that way. You're in your own business. So treat that way from the get-go.
That's gold.
Right? I appreciate that, but it's the truth. And then schedule your time. I started in network marketing at 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night. And so this is the new thing, right? I know you're supposed to work 4 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. I do that now, right? So, but in the beginning, if you don't block out time, I'd rather see somebody work in 30 minutes a day than to say, I'm going to take all day Saturday and I'm going to not mow the lawn.
It's like going to the gym. At least work out 20 minutes instead of an hour.
Exactly,
you put it in your schedule.
And you're not going to do it. So you're not going to do that the next Saturday. There's going to be a wedding. There's going to be something else. But everybody could do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and then get consistent with that and build those habits. And the other thing is, you will run out of friends, family, and everything else. But you need to be building a list, and you need to learn how to build a list, and you need to learn how to contact people. But to build your list, if you add 20 names to a list every day, at the end of a month, your typical month, you're going to have 600 people. So let's say you get a third of that. You can increase that list. And it could be something as simple as the girl at the checkout counter at the grocery store. Because you may have heard her say something like, I can't take this job anymore and everything. Or she's going out of her way to help somebody, and you notice something in that person. And then the next time you go in there, just say, look, you really impressed me last time I was in here. You have certain qualities. I just wanted to ask you your name. Because people think that they need to be a farmer, not a hunter, right? Because if you try to go in and you miss that shot, you're not going to eat that night. So if you start building slowly and planting seeds a little at a time, you will build this business. You'll never run out of people to talk to. Okay. And don't be an animal. Just understand that. Don't be that alligator lurking beneath the surface and ready to
pounce.
Ready to pounce. It's not. It's conversational. Right. It's natural. It's just, look, and then find out what people are looking for. If you have a great product or a great service, well, maybe some people you lead with that. Or other people you may lead with the opportunity. You know, you don't, and try to be as casual and comfortable as you possibly can. People will sense that.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is
you gotta be you.
You gotta be you. And it doesn't matter what you are, because there are other people going to relate to you, right? You know, women or men have a type, right, that they're attracted to, right? So like attracts like, or, you know, so you'll find people that work for you and build a business that way. You know, we put maybe 43 people in our business, and maybe 10 are doing anything, but that equated to over 3,300 people already.
Right. You didn't know 3,300. You did like what, 2 a month?
I still don't know all 3,300 of them. Right. I love them all. I love them all.
3 a month, 1 a week.
Right.
That's what turned into your success.
It's small moves. It's small moves.
That compounded and multiplied.
Well, compounding is this whole business, and you have that leverage that you never have anywhere else. There's nowhere in the industry.
So I know we got to wrap this up. So here's the thing: you got a great wife. I've met Linda. She's a wonderful person.
I love her.
How do they? I love her too. Okay. All right. So, but how do people get in touch with you? Where do they get in touch with you? How can they find you and your wife?
Well, first of all, I'm willing to help anybody, and I think you have to have a servant mentality to do that. And I think the easiest way is just on Facebook. We're just regular people, so it's Linda and then the letter N, Paul. So Linda N. Paul Capozio, Capozio on Facebook. Friend us. We'd love to be friends with you. And you have any questions or anything, just contact me.
One Facebook page for both of you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we build a team together. Well, actually, that's good advice, because obviously, you know, in this business, and Facebook seems to be a trendy thing, but we like to do everything. It's actually, you know, it's funny, and I'll close with this. This is the first business that she's ever been excited about, that we can really both build together. You know, and that's exciting. And now this is probably our last hurrah. You know, network marketing, I think, is going to be our last hurrah. And what a better way to go out than doing it together.
And having fun.
And having a lot of fun.
And traveling the world with your friends.
Exactly.
And making new friends.
And
right?
making new friends.
Thank you, Paul, for coming on. Time with Troy, where time is worth more than money. You just listened to one of the most successful people that I've come across, you know, not only financially, but just he's personally developed. He goes out and makes a difference. We appreciate you, buddy.
I love you.
All right, man.
All right, man.
I love you, too.